Welcome back to math. Today it's math unit 1, relating place value to multiplication. Relating place value to multiplication. Let's go over our place value again. What do we call this?
Decimal.
A decimal. And then to the left side is what? All whole numbers, right?
Yes.
They're all whole numbers. So we have our
Ones,
tens, hundreds. And then when we go to the right of the decimal, we have what?
Tens.
Pieces, right? We don't have anything that is the whole thing. It's pieces. So let me use my my highlighter. Everything going this way. You like the big arrow?
Yeah.
Everything going to the left is whole numbers. Okay? You want me to write that out for you?
Yes.
Okay, whole numbers. And also, let me have you try to memorize this. Whenever we're multiplying something, when we multiply, we're always going to the left. See that? Whenever we're multiplying, we're always, everybody say it with me, whenever we're multiplying, we're always going to the left. Now when we divide, wow, it doesn't want me to divide up there, does it? Okay, when we divide, come on. Okay, when we divide, which way do you think we're going to go?
Right.
Yeah, we are going to go to the right. Okay, so I'm going to put division here, and we're going to go. So we're going to always be moving to the right when we divide, and when we multiply, we're always moving to the left. Everybody, let's say it. Multiplying, we're moving to the left. Dividing, we're moving to the right. Okay? All right. So, let me use my highlighter for that. And it would be like going that way, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
It may not, and it's okay if it doesn't make sense yet. I'll show you what I mean. Okay? So let's say we have a number like, let's just say 2. Shall we? Where would the 2 go? It would go in the 1's spot, right? There's our decimal. Now let's say we're going to multiply that 2 times 10. If we're going to multiply, which way do you think that our number is going to go, place value-wise? It's going to go to the left. So 10 times 2, the 2 is going to move over how many spaces? Or how many places? It's going to move over one place. So it becomes 20. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does everybody see that?
Yes.
All right, you want me to give you another number? Okay. Give me a number, someone.
5. 10. 4.
All right. Let's go with
5.
Let's go with 10. Okay. I really don't want this coming up today. Let's go with 10. And let's multiply that by 3. Shall we? Okay, so I'm going to put my place value right here, right? Where does the 3 go?
In the ones.
It would be the first, second, would that be like A, B, or C spot? Everybody just say it out loud.
A.
Is it A, B, or the C spot?
A.
Which spot? It would go here?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at our decimal again, and I'll go up to the top. Here we go. It's okay. It's all right to make mistakes. We make mistakes in here. Here's our decimal point, right? What's our first? Everybody say it. Ones, tens, hundreds. So let me just go back to that. And which one do you think it's in? A, B, or C? Well, let's say this is what place. All right, so let's go again. This is ones, tens, hundreds. So where's the 3 going to go? It's going to go in the C area, right? In the ones. You're correct. Smart move, people. Now, we're going to multiply it by 10, so how many places over is it going to go?
1.
It's going to go over, it's going to shift. Let's say shift. Shift. It shifts over one place. So now we have an empty place, right? And we have a decimal. What goes in between the 3 and the decimal? In the empty place? Yeah, 0. So we know that this is 30, right? Okay, let me take it up one more place, shall we? Let me erase this. You know what? I'm going to use the 3 again. So I'm going to leave it there. And let's multiply it by 100 this time. Okay? So how many places do you think the 3 is going to shift? And in which direction?
2.
It's going to go over 2. It's going to shift 2 places, right? 1, 2, right? Why?
Because there's 2 zeros.
Because let me use a different color. Let me use yellow. Because our 100 has 2 zeros, right?
Yes.
So we're going to go over 1, 2 places, right? We're going to shift over. So what do we do with the empty spots?
Put a 0.
We put zeros. So we know that 100 times 3 is 300, right? Do you see how that works? How the shifting works? Does anybody have any questions about the shifting? No? Makes sense? All right, let me change our problem slightly, okay? I'm going to go back to 3, but I'm going to make it a 3.2. And let's multiply it by 10. Where do we put the 3 and where do we put the 2? The 3 goes in the...
Tens.
Okay, now, someone said tens. Let's look up here. If we have a 3.2, where would the 3 go? Well, what does point mean? It means decimal, so our decimal's here, right? So the 3 is on the left side of the decimal, right?
Yes.
So where does the 3 go?
The 1.
Okay, we keep saying tens. Do you see 2 spaces in between the decimal and the 3?
No.
Do you see 2 spaces? Okay. So if I moved this number up to that thing, where would it go? Look up there. Where would it go? It would go in the ones. And then here's our decimal, right? And then where would the 2 go?
Tens.
Yeah, it would go in the... Let me get rid of this. Nice. It would go in the tenths with the THS, right? Spot. So then we're going to shift over, aren't we? How many places are we going to shift over?
1.
Okay, so we're going to put our 3 here and our 2 here, and we're going to shift over 1 space. So our 3 would go here. Where would our 2 go? In the ones, and then we can put a 0 here, right? Sure. We fill in the spot with the 0. So we have, what? 32. So 10 times 3.2 is 32. Let me add to this. Are you ready? I'm going to just take it up one place. I'm going to make this 100. So we're going to put our 3 where?
In the 1s.
Go ahead. In the ones. And we're going to put our 2 behind the decimal, right? Because it's behind the decimal here, right? Yeah. Now what are we going to do? How many times are we going to shift our numbers?
2 times.
Let's shift them twice. 1, 2, right? So our 3 goes in the what? Hundreds. Where does our 2 go? 1, 2. Goes in the tens. And then what do we do with this empty space right here?
0.
We put a 0. So our answer would be 320, right? Does everybody understand that? So shifting is an important concept for multiplying. It makes it so much easier, doesn't it? I mean, it's so fast. Now some of you might be saying, I learned how to do the decimal by just saying, you know, if I'm multiplying 3 times 100, I just say 3 times 1 is 3, and then I have 2 zeros. And you'd be right. That would be a way to do it. I'm just showing you a different way to show or to draw your answer. Does that make sense? Because guess what they're going to want you to do next year and this year? They're going to want you to draw your answer. Does that make sense? And this is a way of drawing it out for your teacher. Do you understand? Why is it important that we know different ways to solve problems? Why is it important that we draw it out? So that we know different ways of doing problems, because we may have a problem that we don't know how to solve. And this might be a good way to do it. Does that make sense? Okay, so what do we need to remember about this lesson? We need to remember about shifting, yes. And which way do we shift when we multiply? When we multiply, we're going to shift to the left. When we're multiplying, we're shifting to the left. Okay? And that's all we're doing today. Now I want you to make up, you're going to make up for homework tonight, 10 problems just like we did just now. You can have 5 2-digit problems and 5 1-digit problems.
Okay.
So you can have a 2 times 10, there's a 1-digit problem, right? Multiplying it by 10. And you can have some 1-digit problems multiplied by 100, okay, like we did. And then have some decimal points, because these are 2 digits, right? So let's do something with a decimal point, even though it's kind of scary. Try it anyway, okay? And do 5 of those in tens and 100, okay? Does everybody understand what to do?
Yes.
So draw out your shifting, so show the shifting like I showed it here. And so you're just going to show. You're going to put your 3.2, just like I did, and you're going to shift it over 1 space if you're multiplying by 10, and 2 places if you're multiplying by 100. And if you want to get crazy because you are just really good at math, you could multiply by 1,000 if you'd like. Okay? All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. I love math.